What's happening in the background there behind you, bro? It looks like some badass kung fu or something happening in that picture.
Oh yeah, this is just there's some stuff they have on the windows there.
Nice.
So yeah, just
Nice, dude.
just some nice stuff.
So, which gym are you at the moment, bro?
Agogi Fighting Systems in Pretoria North.
Okay. So that's not. I thought that that was based outside of CRT. How does that all work? I mean, inside CRT. Sorry, not
No, in
outside.
actual fact, my head coach, which is Coach Nico,
Yes.
uh, he's been with CIT for a long time. I'm not quite sure how long, but then he's been with Mornifessa. He was one of Mornifessa's fighters.
Okay.
So with that, he's more of a stand-up guy. He did Thai boxing back in his day, and now what happens with CIT is that they help us with the groundwork and whatnot, and then we do the stand-up here. So we just
Ah,
go between germs there and there. So that's how it
okay.
works.
Okay. Because we've often wondered on how the whole setup works. Because I think at Versus now recently we saw your guys kicking ass all over the show, man. And we're just trying to figure out how it all worked. Okay, so that makes sense.
No, it's two.
Because
Yeah, it's two
that
completely different gyms.
okay, but you guys are using the groundwork sort of together.
Yeah, we are a big family basically.
Okay, very nice, dude. Look, I must say the striking system obviously works because we saw some hard hitting action there versus I think all of your guys and
Yeah,
girls look tremendous. I know you were cornering and up and down. It was awesome to see, man. And what's your head
yeah.
coach's name again? Sorry, dude.
Nico Mutabo. That's his name.
He's the dude with the nasty leg kicks that we always see the cool videos of, eh?
Yep, that's the guy.
Nice one, nice one. So, dude, what's been happening? You're finally getting ready for another fight. Just talk us through what's been
Yeah.
happening with Asiashu in this crazy time, man. Obviously, you would have had to spend a bit of time at home doing nothing at level 5, and then get back into it, and then kind of waiting around for a fight. So, just give us a little rundown of what you've been up to.
Yeah, so basically, the last event was, I believe, March last year, 2020,
Yes.
and I was hoping that I'll be on the April card that year in 2020, but then obviously everything happened, COVID happened, so yeah, I never really stopped training. Maybe I might have stopped for like 2 weeks or something, but then I was training at home. I did all my training at home, and as soon as they let us back to the gyms, I was here every day, pushing, pushing, pushing. Yeah, and here we are today. And I've basically been ready since, when was it? When EFC said they're gonna have fights coming back. I think it was around July or August or something like that. I
Yeah.
was already ready for a fight by then.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've just been waiting for them to actually call and confirm that we have something for you. And here
Okay.
we are now. So
And
just 2 weeks out, less than 2 weeks actually.
yeah, dude, it's around the corner, man. It's very exciting. I'm super stoked. I'm sure no one's more excited than you guys that are fighting on the card. But I'm happy. I'm happy that we finally here. What's it been like
Yeah.
in all of this madness? Just kind of waiting basically for the EFC to keep yourself motivated and to keep yourself in the gym and training hard, not knowing when or if it's ever going to happen.
To be honest, it's really been frustrating, but then there isn't much that we could have done about it. Just had to wait on them. And yeah, just my coaches, the people around me have been the motivation, to be honest. Sometimes I felt like, how long is this gonna go for? But then the guys around me, my brother Arusani, Delmarco, Bernardo, the guys at CIT, the guys here at Agogi, they kept me going, to be honest. And yeah, they've really played a big part in this whole thing. So yeah, it's
Okay.
all thanks to them. I'm still here.
That's awesome, man. Because I must be honest, like when we got a few months in, I started to stress about, obviously there's a financial thing about fighters trying to figure out what do we do here. All the guys that had kind of given up their day jobs per se and were just living out of the gym. it became a bit weird. You're like, and then we were thinking, what's going to happen when all this is over? Are we going to have fighters? Are guys still going to be around? What's going to happen? So I'm glad we've come out reasonably unscathed, and we've made it this far.
Yeah.
You obviously your last fight was about, I think, EFC 83, more or less. Coming off,
it was.
And you've had to sit on all of this on a loss. And I know most guys, and I'm sure you're a guy who's really motivated at the moment. You want to get back in there as soon as possible, especially after like a decision loss. You want to get back in there and kind of prove a point. So what's that been like? Just extra bit of frustration, just hanging around trying to correct that loss.
Yeah, I've been working on my ground game. I've been working on my aggression, my mentality as well. That has changed a lot. And yeah, it's coming into this fight, I'm going to be a different person, basically. Physically, mentally, emotionally. I'm going to come in differently. So, yeah.
You
think I gotta be ready for me.
Nice. You say mentally and emotionally. What are the kind of things you've been working on from a mental aspect to get yourself in a strong mental space?
Just taking things as they are and not letting things bring me down and whatnot, and always trying to think of the positive and never letting negative things affect me, basically. And always finding motivation where there isn't much motivation to go on.
Sure.
So yeah, trying to push myself all the time and stuff like that.
While I'm asked about the mental side, I want to ask, we saw you against, I think it was your first fight against Fafa Dwama, a strange one, lost on a decision, and then you went on this crazy tear. Wade Kerspae was in there, Billy Oosthuizen, who was a hard hitter. Who else was there? Orlando Mashaba, very dangerous, strong guy, and you seem to be tearing through. So what changed from the Asiashu that fought Fafa that went on this 4-fight tear from there?
Oh well, after Fafa, I think we went in the wrong division. Basically, we only fought, I think, 2 fights at flyweight and in 1 fight actually, in amateur, and then we went to pro, and that didn't work out really well for us. So that's when we moved up to bantamweight, and yeah, I think things changed. It was much easier for me. It was easier on the body, the head as well. And yeah, unfortunately, when I fought Chifumbu, yes, I don't know. I don't know. I just wasn't in the right space. I'm not using that as an excuse. He was the better man of the night, but I just wasn't the guy that I usually am, and that's what I've been working on to keep that going. To keep that going.
That's a funny thing, and I think almost every professional fighter that's ever fought has had one of those, if not more than one of those nights where they don't know, they can't explain, like they didn't come out the change room, or they just weren't there on the night, or the warm-up didn't go right, or something just didn't happen, man. And I think it's one of those things that just happen, and I think you learn from it. I think every fighter's kind of got to go through.
Definitely.
Yeah, every fighter's got to kind of go through one of those weird losses. Like, I mean, your coaches can all tell you, like in this sort of situation, you need to do X, Y, Z, but sometimes you have to kind of just live those fights and kind of learn from them. Unfortunately, that's the game, Just on that, you became this, I mean, after Mzwandile Hlongwa, you became this massive viral sensation with this crazy front kick knockout against, I mean, Billy Oosthuizen was a very dangerous opponent, and he was knocking dudes cold before that, and then you went from this all over the place, and there was controversy, the shooting, or you shot Billy the Kid, and people were up in arms about it. Out of all the things that they were upset, that was what got to them. And then you went to this Sylvester Chipfumbu, and then it didn't all come together. So what do you think when you look back at that now, going through all of this? And I know you're not one to be in the limelight, and you like to stick quietly to yourself. So what was it like to deal with all of that and then go into a loss? I mean, everyone's like, well, this guy's a one-trick pony, like, or what's it been like?
Well, I think one of the things that really affected my fight with Chifumbu is that I underestimated him, and yeah, well, I paid for that, painfully so. And his wrestling, he was much stronger. He was much stronger than I thought he would be. He had proper good wrestling, and we all thought it was going to be a stand-up fight because then he comes from a stand-up background as well. But then when he got there, he shot for the takedown. He clenched me up. He put me against the fence. Just kept the control basically. And by the time by the time I realized the fight was over, so yeah, man, things like this happen. We just learn from them. So we
Absolutely, man.
move.
And
Yeah.
how was it for you? Because I know we've had a brief chat before. I know you're quite a quiet, reserved guy. How was it dealing with all of that limelight, and everybody now paying attention to who you are and what you're doing?
It wasn't easy, to be honest, because with all the negativity that was happening,
Sure.
it was for me it was more negativity than positivity. It was okay, sharp. The video had like millions of views on certain platforms and whatnot, but the negativity for me really killed me. I was really in a dark space for a while. And when I'm in a dark space, all I do is eat. So even my weight went up to 82 kilograms even after that. So
Jeez.
yeah, I had a big cut after that to fight Chifumbu as well. But yeah, basically it wasn't a nice place for me to be. Besides all besides the video me being viral, it wasn't a good place for me to be. But yeah.
Man, and this was a funny thing because like uh, obviously I think in the atmosphere in South Africa, like people took it completely out of context, and I've been trying to say this to people and help me if I'm wrong here, Azzy. The whole thing was Billy Oosthuizen calls himself Billy the Kid, which was a famous Western guy, like a cowboy who ran around shooting people, and your whole thing was, I shot Billy the Kid, like, and that was it. Like,
That's exactly what it was.
I thought it was awesome, dude. We were loving it. We were going wild, coach. I was like, damn straight, dude. That dude just got served. I mean, that's the game. Like you roll the dice, and I mean, Billy's one of the guys who talks a lot. He has antics. I mean, was it for you that he brought the pillow to the weigh-ins? I don't know if it was
Nah,
you
I
or
don't
someone.
remember.
Like
I don't remember. It wasn't.
he
I don't.
bought a pillow because he was going to put the dude to sleep, and he bought him like he's a braggadocious dude. Like he stirs up the action, and that's what happens, man. So like I
Yeah,
think people just need to calm down and enjoy the mastery of the knockout and forget about all the other stuff, man. Jeepers.
yeah, but you know how it goes. People will always talk, so
For sure.
there's always gonna
For
be
sure.
some people saying good stuff and bad stuff. So
For sure.
you know,
Let's have a quick look
but
at your
it's cool.
fight. You spoke about Sylvester, and the wrestling
Mm.
strategy. I don't think it's a much of a secret that Sandile would look to apply a similar strategy, especially after watching the way Sylvester did it. So,
Mm.
is that in your mind now in the camp? Are you focusing on those kind of things, or are you kind of balancing, sticking to your striking, but making sure you're covering all bases, or what's up with the camp at the moment?
Um, what we do is we never neglect our stand up, never ever. But we add on. We add on with whatever the guy brings. So we know that he's probably going to try to take me down. So we're just adding on to that. We adding defense and offensive defense and stuff like that. How to be aggressive, how to move, how to keep frames and just to get out of certain positions and be in control of certain positions. That's just how we've been training for the past since they've confirmed the fight actually.
Okay,
So yeah,
cool. And
but
I mean,
but you never neglect our stand up.
fantastic, man. Uh, Never leave what got you to the dance, is what they say.
Never.
Um, we obviously know Sandile and his camp, and he's a great guy, comes from a great camp. What do you make of him as an opponent? Like, obviously, we're not talking about game plans. Just what do you make of him as an opponent?
I'm actually really excited about it. I mean, I was checking on the net, and when I first started my amateur career, when back in 2014, think he was only having his first professional fight. So he's been in the game for such a long time. So it's really, he's one of the guys that I actually was watching before. I never, when I was still like young in my amateur career, I didn't think I'd get this far. And he was one of the guys that I'd be watching on TV, and I'd be like, just I wish I could be at that stage. So now fighting him, it's like, hey, you're fighting those guys now, the guys that you were watching, your icons, you know. So
Awesome.
yeah, it's really nice actually. It's really nice.
That's fantastic, man. That's a cool story. At the top of the
Yeah.
card, your division's gonna have a little battle out. Faiz Jacobs and your former foe Sylvester. What do you make of that fight, and who do you have pegged to win that?
Oh, okay. It's a very interesting fight.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind fighting both.
Well, that's the
But
next question I was going to ask. So, which would you prefer to face for the title?
I wouldn't mind both, but to be honest, I'd rather prefer the rematch with Chifumbu, just so I can get my revenge or something like that.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, they're both great guys. I love them both. Good luck to both of them, and whoever wins wins. I really don't know who will take it. They're both really good, so we'll see.
Fantastic, man.
We'll see.
Last one from me, Azzy. I know it's deep into camp, and I'm sure you got a lot of things still to do, hard work and rest and recovery. What would you say the fans can expect from, let's say, the new Azzy 2.0 when EFC returns on May the 12th or May the 8th? Sorry.
Aggression. A lot of new funky moves as well. But yeah, we'll work it. You'll see. Sindila better be ready, eh?
Fantastic, my brother. Thank you so much. And thank you to Marco for helping us get this done. We really appreciate your time, buddy. And we wish you all the best for the last bit of the camp. And we're excited to see you back in there, bud.
Thank you, my brother.
Have a good rest of your camp and a good evening. And we'll see you soon.
All right. Sup.
Cheers, buddy.